And Ken Kesey was a writer and a symbol of one of our most cherished freedoms, the freedom of behavior, something that isn't specifically spelled out in the Constitution. His novels, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Sometimes a Great Notion, are certified masterpieces of American literature. But no matter what his international stature, he was first and always an Oregonian.
This barn belonged to my dad, his property, and then to my brother, then to me. And we know this piece of land.
We visited Ken to find out what he was up to, and he was as busy working as he had ever been, editing film from his legendary bus adventures, even hand-making the boxes for the videotapes, along with his grandson.
Good?
Bad.
Oh, no, I think that's a good one. See that little nice swirling color there?
No, it's bad.
It's a bad one. Put it over in the reject pile. Tick, 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 tick. Just in case, we'd better deactivate.
He shared his latest project with us, a combination of words and visuals.
See, the magna pole doesn't oscillate. Crack, stand back. Oh, no, snap. Too late. After the sufficient period circled the particular time, don't you recall? Thunder. Well, it finally struck. So that it has a rhythm that goes with the text and with the pictures.
It's poetry.
It's hopefully.
I got to do what writers from all over America only dream of, sitting in Ken Kesey's office and talking to him about writing.
The trick is not to work for the Nobel Prize audience. That if you start working for that, working for the Pulitzer, thinking that's what you're working for, you're going to burn your reader and burn yourself as well.
What are you working for?
Light, to open a crack, to show something that's been clicked open on the matrix for a second, to have something happen that people can't figure out, to have magic happen, and to know that you're doing it. So it's not a haphazard, occasional thing, but to know that you're working on the trick just the way I would work on a trick with coins, and practicing that until you know when you deal it, it happens.
Last Wednesday, on a wild, windy Oregon November day at the McDonald Theater in downtown Eugene, hundreds gathered to memorialize Ken.
Good to see y'all.
Ken Babbs, Kesey's longtime buddy and collaborator, who rode the original bus in 1964, was the last to get off.
Seating is full, lobby access only at this point.
As the crowd spilled out onto the sidewalk, the speakers talked about Ken's life.
The thing I remember most is his generosity. He was giving. He was always giving. This last Sunday when I got out here, I called my daughter in Florida. She's 36, and she had met Ken 3 times. She met him when he was 5. When she was 5, she met him when she was 12, and then the two of us met him, Ken, in Toronto again in about 12 years ago. And my daughter was a little weepy. And she said, you know, Dad, she said, I always felt safe and loved when I was with Ken. It was as if his heart was reaching out and touching my heart. And that was one of Ken's gifts, and it's a gift that I'll always remember him for, and I know my daughter will too, as will many others.
He was a really big inspiration for me, you know, like growing up, reading his books. I went to school in Rhode Island, so I could remember Oregon by reading Sometimes a Great Notion.
Kesey was not for the weak. In order to play with Kesey, you had to stay up until dark 30, didn't you? You remember that. Anyway,
I remember.
he had an energy. He had a fantastic energy. And we're all going to have to run faster and jump higher, aren't we?
I think that people really will look at him as kind of a role model or something, you know. I mean, he was a really intelligent man, and he did a lot with his life, and you know, and he was out there for his family most of all. I mean, you know, even I was listening to some old interviews on the radio and listening to him talk about how his family is the most important thing ultimately. So aside from everything and the, you know, the parties and the music and everything, that ultimately family is, you know, is.
I think he loved Oregon very much, and he sort of like felt like he had a say in what went on in his state, and took responsibility for Oregonians like myself, you know, would defend you when you were under attack.